Okay, to start off, we're going to do a little bit of housekeeping. Before you, we have just the default Flutter application that comes with IntelliJ. I'm using the Community Edition, so you don't have to purchase anything for this course. We're just going to take this code and we're going to wipe it out. And I have a live template that I've been using straight from the beginning. Feel free to copy it. It's also going to be out on GitHub. All the source code for all of these modules will be out on GitHub. It's a pretty simple little set of code, and that's why I like using this instead of that big monster you just saw. In here, we just have our main, which we have our material app. Our home is just a new my app, which is a stateful widget. And then, of course, we're creating the state, and the state is where we do most of our work. To start this thing off, we're going to look at what's called opacity. So let's go ahead and let's make a variable here. So we've got our visible. We're going to call our init state. And we're just going to say visible equal true. And in here, we're going to set our state. Pretty simple code so far. Really all we've got is our boolean, we've got our initialized state, and then we're toggling whether or not that is true or false. Now, down here is where we're going to do our magic. We're going to look for our column, and then in our widget sets, we're just going to grab this, and we're going to add a new opacity. And notice the first thing it wants is the opacity itself. And we're going to say visible, and this is a double, so we have to give it a double. And we're not going to make it 100% invisible. I want it to be kind of there. And we're going to add a text widget in there. And let's just do this. Now we need some method of toggling that. So if you're kind of following what's going on here, we've got just a very basic state, and then we got an opacity widget, and then we're just controlling the opacity through a child widget. Now what we need to do is, you guessed it, we're going to add in here a new raised button. On pressed is just going to be our toggle visibility, and for child, new text, and we'll say toggle. I'm going to bring up my emulator. For these courses, I'm using the Nexus 5 API 27 simply because it has Google Play Store installed. Make sure you're using something that has Google Play Store for the coming videos, or you're going to have a lot of problems, especially when we start getting into Firebase. So very simple, and let's just kick this thing off. Wait for our emulator to catch up here. This part always takes a while. All right, we have a good build, and we can sit here and click it. Now you see me, now you don't, and when you click it, notice how it's not 100% invisible because I left it at 0.2, but you can just simply toggle it off and on.